to get into savings as a habit. And whether things are good or bad, you have to continue to save.
Robust savings in focus as Nigeria Extractive Industries Transparency Internet Initiative advocates prudent management of extractive.
The expected outcome after implementing the master plan is an ICT-based transformation of governance.
Economic and financial experts converge in Abuja to explore the use of data to enhance efficiency in governance. Free from intra-party litigations, the People's Democratic Party PDP fixes August 12 for a non-elective special convention. Water overflows its banks in Dede, a suburb of Abuja. Hello there, welcome to NTA Network News. I am Muhammad Kuda Ubakar here in Abuja. Jennifer Igwe is in our Lagos studio.
Good evening and welcome to the news.
And in Maiduguri is Mohammed Ibrahim. Mohammed Ibrahim will come to you later. 4 Boko Haram terrorists willingly deserted their ride out and surrendered to 120 Task Force Battalion at Gonori in Borno State. Among them is a high-profile terrorist, Konto Fanami, the Emir of Kafa hideout of the Boko Haram terrorist group that operates along Ajingi, Talala, Munungusum axis. Director, Army Public Relations Brigadier General Sani Kukasheka Usman, in a statement, disclosed that during preliminary interrogation, the terrorists confirmed that they abandoned terrorism because of incessant hardship and realizing that they were misled by their leaders. They further stated that they were also erroneously misinformed and brainwashed about Islam and the Nigerian military and the society generally. The remorseful terrorists regretted their involvement in terrorism and marveled at the courtesies and humane treatment accorded them by the military on surrendering. They call on those remnants of Boko Haram terrorists to renounce the devilish creed, as adequate arrangement has been made to receive all those that voluntarily renounce terrorism and surrender themselves, with assurances that they will be treated humanely. Against the backdrop of the position of Nigeria as one of the lowest in resource revenue savings, the Nigerian Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative, NAITI, has taken steps to ensure prudent management of extractive revenues. A commissioned report unveiled in Abuja indicates the need to reverse the trend for sustainable development. Musa Abubakar now reports.
Records indicates that Nigeria has one of the lowest comparative revenue resources savings in the world. While countries such as Norway and Kuwait could boast of savings of $922 and $592 billion respectively, Nigeria's savings is $1.5 billion below Angola, which has $4.6 billion. With as little as $3.9 billion to fall back on, and constitutional as well as political will on the way, the recommendations of this report and bill is believed will promote savings for the future.
When people say, oh, when things are tough, you cannot save, it's not true. You need to get into savings as a habit. And whether things are good or bad, you have to continue to save. And from what we have seen from the savings we did in November 2015 and in March this year, is clear that even when things are tough, you can still put some money aside.
The report hinged on the prudent management of the country's resources for sustainable development, recommends savings irrespective of oil prices, among other suggestions. It is expected that the report will be sent to decision makers for further action. In Abuja, I am Musa Abubakar, NTA News.
Joining me now to expatiate on this is Dr. Oji Ogbonnaya Oji, Director of Communications, NAITI. Dr. Oji, you're welcome to NTA Network News Studio.
Thank you very much.
Nigeria is said to have the lowest resource revenues savings in the world. Why is this so?
Well, the first is that we have been lacking in national consensus that it is the right thing to do to save even when the oil prices are low. When it is high, we need to save. When it is low, we need to save all the time. All the countries that have been mentioned have reached this national consensus. There is no conflict. There is no disagreement among them that there is need to save for the rainy day and for the next generation.
With our low savings ratio or percentage, how do you think we can quickly, if you like, join the bandwagon in our quest for sustainable development?
We need to quickly agree as a country that there is need to put some money aside for the next generation and even for the current generation to be able to deal with national issues when oil prices fall like it is now, in terms of recession and national emergencies. And there are some measures that we need to take urgently. One is to resolve the pending case that is pending at the Supreme Court. You recall that sometime when Nigeria wanted to make this bold move, some federating units went to court. That matter is...
You mean state governors?
Yes, that matter is still... Some said it was already raining. You need to share everything now. But it is clear now we are now in a recession and Nigeria need to do something quickly to begin to save. Countries like Norway that we mentioned, 1990 they had already reached that consensus. Today they have 922 billion. We need to also make sure that we put in place corporate governance around the savings that we put in place. We have three streams of saving right now: the SS crude account, stabilization fund, and the Nigerian Sovereign Investment Authority, Sovereign Wealth Fund. But of all the three, only the Sovereign Wealth Fund is the one that Nigeria has put its money where its mouth is and we can go to sleep. So we are advocating that we need to collapse the funds that we have in SS crude account and the stabilization fund into the sovereign wealth fund where there is corporate governance. The Nigerian sovereign wealth...
When is NIT going to lead the quest for the consensus? Because you said you need a national consensus.
Well, the national consensus has to agree. The state governors, the National Economic Council needs to bring this up. The state governors, the National Assembly, all the political leaders, all those who need to share from the Federation account, that we do not need to spend everything we earn from oil. We need to put some aside. Other countries that have done them...
Will NIT lead the charge?
That's exactly what we have done by providing the intellectual basis for discussion, for this debate to start. We have done a report which is well researched, and knowledge-based argument can begin to provoke some of these discussions. We need these discussions to involve the media, the civil society, the legislature, government, companies, all those who are involved in extractive industry.
You need to involve the National Orientation Agency, isn't it?
Precisely. And when we bring all Nigerians to realize that there is need to save and put some money aside, even now that we're in recession, we can begin to save. And if we save, when the oil prices are as low as it is now, we will be able to absorb the shock. But this idea of spending everything we earn is not going to take Nigeria anywhere, and it's putting us more in debt. The economic recovery and growth plan that the government has launched as a response to recession needs to also be a launching pad for the country to respond to these issues.
Dr. Oji Obona Oji, Director Communications, NIT, thank you so very much for your time.
Thank you very much, Mohammed.
Yeah. The Controller General of the Nigeria Customs Service, Colonel Hamid Ali, has debunked the rumor giving ethnic and religious coloration to the e-auction policy of the federal government. Customs Controller General, at an interactive session with stakeholders and the media, attributed the challenges Nigerians face logging into the portal since the process commenced as one of the problems. Correspondent Shegun Lawale has more details.
Since the process of bidding commences on the 3rd of July through e-auction of forfeited goods by the Nigerian Customs Service, many Nigerians feel shut out. A development that casts aspersion on the transparency and integrity of the policy, as enunciated by the federal government. At the instance of the Comptroller General, the interactive session with financial institutions, the media, and other stakeholders revealed how the process was being frustrated, in addition to the inability of partnering financial institutions to fully participate. Whereas the only bank that came to the rescue when others declined gave the e-auction policy a religious coloration.
This is an economic sabotage, pure and simple. Because the money we are going to collect is not coming to customs. It's not coming to me as a person. It's going to the same treasury account that will be distributed to the 3 tiers of government.
Arising from the meeting, 18 financial institutions are now on the platform.
At any time the Nigerian custom or you want us to intervene, we will not hesitate to come into it.
We should not allow it to be poisoned by some few Nigerians.
Those abusing the system, the Comptroller General says, will be deleted from the platform. In Abuja, Segun Lawole, NTA News.
Acting President Yemi Osinbajo says Nigeria has all the potentials it takes to develop every sector of human endeavor. He was speaking at the Emir of Gusau's palace as part of his official visit to Zamfara State. Correspondent Halil Muhammad Umar has more on the visit.
The one-day walking visit to Zamfara State by the acting president was characterized by the inauguration of various projects executed by the administration of Governor Abdulaziz Yari. The acting president, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, who had his first point of call at the Emir of Gusau's palace, noted that Nigeria has abundant resources capable of making it a developed nation.
I bring you also very warm greetings from the President, President Muhammad Buhari, who I had the pleasure of seeing just last week. About this, I left for London since about this time last week. And also to say that we are all deeply grateful for the way that we have handled the affairs.
Emir of Gusau Alhaji Ibrahim Bello commended the federal government for restoring security and reviving the agricultural sector.
And we are very proud of this government, what it has done and what it is doing and what it's going to do.
Professor Yemi Osinbajo inaugurated the reconstructed Government Day Secondary School Anture in Gusau, the state capital, where he expressed satisfaction with the work executed. The acting president had earlier commissioned the Government Girls Unity Secondary School Kotorkoshi, which witnessed the total renovation of 18 blocks of 49 classrooms, as well as construction of additional structures. At the venue of the occasion, Zamfara State Governor Abdulaziz Yari reminded the acting president of some federal roads constructed by his administration, while appealing to the federal government to reimburse the state government for more developmental projects to the people.
I wish to therefore use this opportunity to appeal to His Excellency, the acting president, to assist our states and assist other states to reform so as to enable us undertake construction and rehabilitation of more federal roads and the state infrastructure development projects.
From Gusau, Halil Muhammad Umar, NTA News.
The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, has destroyed more than 24,000 kilograms of forfeited illicit drugs in the Federal Capital Territory. At the destruction of the seized drugs, Chairman and Chief Executive of the NDLEA, retired Colonel Muhammad Mustafa Abdullah, decried the increasing use of drugs, particularly among the youths in Nigeria. Lydia Sampson has the report.
Heaps of drugs going up in flames as the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency performed its routine public destruction of illicit drugs seized from suspects at various times across the FCT. Chairman NDLEA Muhammad Mustafa Abdullah says the upsurge in the consumption of illicit drugs among youths is worrisome and needs to be tackled urgently.
There is therefore the need for us to intensify our efforts in both enforcing the laws and sensitizing the general populace. We need to ensure that drug traffickers run out of the market.
Rehabilitation and confidence building, experts say, remains very central to winning the fight against drug abuse and trafficking, as many victims find it difficult to break the silence even if they are suffering.
Another alarming observation is the increasing number of married women and females using substances. To this end, in the area of drug demand reduction, we have engaged in drug abuse education
in their efforts to fight the global menace and take down transnational organized criminal organizations benefiting from the drug trade.
Members of the public were also encouraged to volunteer vital information to the NDLEA and other security agencies in the fight against illicit drugs. In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, NTA News.
In the meantime, health experts, law enforcement agencies and decision makers are collaborating to tackle drug abuse and illicit trafficking, which is identified to be a threat to Nigeria's productive future. Abdullahi Suleiman Iyaji was at the forum to address the menace and now reports.
A United Nations report indicates that global drug trafficking involves the cultivation and sale of illicit substances valued at billions of dollars. In Nigeria, the rate of drug abuse is alarming, especially among youths between ages 13 to 35. Sadly, housewives have also caught the bug, with many indulging the intake of cannabis, cocaine, ecstasy.
If we do not do something proactive about it, the way this thing is going, it does look like it's become fashionable.
The federal government and all the civil society and security agencies need to do. Some of these things are produced locally. So we have to look at where the idea was coming from.
Codeine is meant for certain usage. Tramadol is also a prescription drug. How come chemists that are not manned by qualified persons are openly selling them?
In a situation where these youths are allowed to be overwhelmed by the deluge of drug abuse and the intoxication, then there is a danger. We endanger our tomorrow. So we must re-emphasize the importance of this war against drug abuse.
The National Alliance Against Drug Abuse was formed to further equip youths with skills for enhanced advocacy against drug abuse. In Abuja, Abdullahi Suleiman Iyaji, NTA News.
You can watch this news live online via the NTA mobile app, which you can download on your Android device at the Google Play Store or at the Apple Store if you use devices with iOS. Still to come, acting president hosts World Leadership Alliance in Abuja. Details of these and more stories after this time out. Stay with us.
Going up? Of course you are. And why not? With Glow Internet, built on Africa's largest wholly owned metro fiber network, the sky is, well, it is rather unlimited. Up is upbeat, seamlessly. Up is quick and easy access to all your favorite apps and entertainment. And there is no downside on a network committed to upping your fun and productivity. Get quick on your uptake, my friend, and offset the odds in your favor. Because on Glow, up isn't an upgrade. It is the upgrade. Going up?
These data plans are available to all new customers and existing customers who renew their plans. Dial *777#. The largest data network, Glow, grandmasters of data.
Since inheriting the Boko Haram insurgency, Governor Kashim Shettima has been supporting security agencies, coordinating community intelligence, recruiting and funding thousands of youth volunteers, hunters in the fight against Boko Haram. He has rebuilt hospitals, water sources, schools, police stations, local government secretariats, and thousands of houses destroyed by insurgents in rural communities. He is resettling victims and empowering them through modern agriculture. He is building mega primary and junior secondary schools to provide quality and free boarding education to over 50,000 children orphaned by the Boko Haram. He has remained prompt on worker salaries, built over 2,500 houses and apartments in 5 estates. He is building and equipping new hospitals, building Borno's first state university after 41 years, building over 10 factories. Governor Shettima is remodeling and building new roads, bridges, lightening the streets, and so much more. Join the rebuilding of Borno to say no to Boko Haram.
Hey, now who they here? My name now Mr. Shortcut. I dey mind my money. Now cheap one I dey buy. Stand up, we sign. Now to buy cheap one. Hey, now one kind cable for my yard. A cheap building material where we take build my office. I think say I dey save money. office building collapse and fire burn my house.
You don't see what happened to Mr. Shortcut? Well, Standards Organization of Nigeria, SON, don't ready for action and say enough of pain, loss and wastage. And if you see product where no dey correct, call the SON office when near you or SON help desk. Standards Organization of Nigeria, improving life through standards.
We want to buy Indomie noodles. 4 packs, please.
Yo.
This is not my Indomie. Please, sir, it's not Indomie. Don't call it Indomie.
Sir, the taste is the difference. The difference is in the taste. That's why my brothers, my mommy, my daddy, and I all enjoy our delicious, so very delicious Indomie noodles. The difference is the taste.
Taste is the difference.
Yes, difference is in the taste. Nothing tastes like my Indomie.
Indomie noodles, tasty nutrition, good for you.
Why Abuja, the pace setter and UNESCO-acclaimed world-class university, is the first choice of students. First university to take off with state-of-the-art structures and equipment. Benchmark, model, and reference point. NUC. Best law college in West Africa. NUC. Template for engineering studies. NSE. Modern medical college and a 21st century teaching hospital. Best enterprise award. European Business Assembly. Nigeria's #1 best private university in Google Scholar ranking. Residential buildings for students and lecturers. Predictable academic calendar, accreditation of 47 undergraduate and postgraduate programs, freedom of religion, modern entrepreneurial structure for 28 skills. Abuja, most conducive environment for learning. Second post-UTME screening, Saturday, 22nd July 2017. For details, visit www.abuja.edu.ng. Email admission@abuja.edu.ng. Telephone 081-277-2121. Abuja, a vision in motion.
The Honorable Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, invites all state commissioners, permanent secretaries, and directors of information, professionals, and stakeholders in the information sector to the second Extraordinary National Council on Information. Theme: Hate Speeches, Fake News, and National Unity. Chief Host, Right Honorable Barrister Simon Bako Lalong, Executive Governor of Plateau State. Date: 20th to 21st July 2017. Venue: Eliel Center, Gold and Base, Jos, Plateau State. Time: 8 a.m. prompt. Program of events: Thursday, 20th July, 12 noon to 6 p.m. Arrival and registration of participants: Friday, 21st July, 8:30 to 9 a.m. Registration continues Friday, 21st July, 9:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. Council meeting: Hussaini W. Daya, Acting Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Information and Culture. Announcer. The Senate Joint Committee on Customs, Excise and Tariff and Marine Transport will carry out a holistic investigation into the activities of the Nigerian Customs Service with a view to identifying the financial leakages, malpractices, and infractions within the import and export value chain, as well as the causes of the declining revenue profile of the service, and come up with recommendations that will reinvigorate the revenue profile of the Nigerian Customs Service with the following stakeholders. Date: July 20th, 2017. Venue: Conference Room 231, National Assembly Complex, Abuja. Time: 10 a.m. prompt. Senator Hope O. Uzodima, Chairman. Announcer.
Nigerians, continuous voter registration is on at the offices of the Independent National Electoral Commission in all the local government areas and other designated centers. Please note that the exercise is not a fresh registration of voters. The current exercise is for persons who have turned 18 since the last registration exercise and those who did not register before. Persons whose names are on the voters register should not register again. If your permanent voter's card is lost or damaged, or you want to transfer your registration to a new location, do not register afresh. Just inform INEC officials at the registration center and you will be attended to. Remember, it's an offense to register more than once. This message is from the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. INEC, making your vote count, consolidating our democracy.
Do you know that the Nigerian police now operates in the best international practices of policing? Do you know that the Nigerian police has been restructured to be more accountable and responsive to all your security challenges? Now, what the police demand from you is your trust, your collaborative efforts by providing necessary information about criminals and their activities in your neighborhood. Be vigilant. To achieve our creed as we promise, we shall police the country based on international core values of policing with integrity. We shall ensure that rule of law prevails in our actions and activities. We shall respect diversity, display courage, show compassion, and demonstrate professionalism. We shall operate within the principle of democratic policing. We shall shun corruption, and we shall make Nigeria safer and secured under the leadership of IGP Ibrahim Otum Idris.
Let the wind of change blowing across the country chase away crime for the benefit of our society. Yes, the Nigerian police says this change must come with peace and tranquility.
This message was brought to you by the Public Relations Department of the Nigerian Police Force.
The Future Assured project of the wife of the president, Aisha Muhammad Buhari, is carrying out free medical screening and distribution of food items at various IDP camps while ensuring the economic empowerment of women through training and skill acquisition. In recognition of her efforts, wives of governors have lent their voices and support.
In Kogi State, we feel the impact of Future Assured, especially in women and children.
The Future Assured program of Mrs. Aisha Muhammad Buhari, the wife of the president, has been very assuring and still reassuring in Sokoto State. It has impacted positively in the areas of humanity, especially women and children.
Supports the Future Assured initiative. Email programs@futureassured.org.ng. Future Assured, promoting and protecting the lives of Nigerian women and children.
Thank you for remaining with NTA Network News. The need for the development and dissemination of alternative and counter-narratives to challenge terrorism and violent extremism has again been stressed by the acting president, Yemi Osinbajo. This was while receiving a delegation of the World Leadership Alliance, also known as Club de Madrid. State House correspondent Jide Onifade has the story.
Acting President Yemi Osinbajo described violent extremism as a complex problem which needs to be dealt with on a daily basis. Referring to the prevalence of terrorism and violent extremism around the world, the acting president noted that it was not doubtful that nations need to develop counter-narratives on how to get things done differently. The Club de Madrid had presented the acting president with a report of a workshop it conducted in Nigeria earlier this year on alternative narratives to counter violent extremism. Former president of Botswana, Festus Mongoy, who presented the report, said the objective of the World Leadership Alliance is to promote democracy and that the workshop was organized in that regard. He added that participants were drawn from across interest groups, the presidency's office, and the National Security Advisor to address violent extremism. Nigeria's Foreign Affairs Minister Geoffrey Oyema also attended the meeting. In the State House, Jide Onifade, NT News.
The presidency has described the claim by the former National Security Advisor, Colonel Samba Dasuki, that the Goodluck Jonathan administration cleared the northeast of Boko Haram terrorists as untrue. A statement by the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, said the claim as contained in a new book by a journalist is another unfortunate attempt by inglorious Nigerians to rewrite the country's history to cover the sins of the past. The statement said, as at the time elections were held in March 2015, a number of local government areas in the northeast were completely under the control of Boko Haram, to the extent that elections in those areas had to be moved to safe areas. Garba Shehu pointed out that the Buhari administration has since assumption been able to clear the areas of Boko Haram, making it possible for the people to return, and institutions such as schools, police stations, hospitals, markets, and courts have been re-established. Garba Shehu said Nigerians could not have forgotten the embarrassing stories of failed weapons that plagued the military during the Jonathan administration, when unserviceable weapons, expired ammunition, and fake armored vehicles caused untold grief to Nigeria's violent armed forces on the battlefield. The People's Democratic Party National Executive Committee has fixed August 12th for the party's non-elective Special National Convention in Abuja. The decision was reached at the end of the party's series of meetings attended by all organs of the PDP. Political correspondent Abdullahi Garba reports.
3 meetings of the expanded caucus, National Caucus and the Board of Trustees preceded the 74th National Executive Committee meeting, which appraised state of the party after July 12th Supreme Court judgment.
Because there is no voting unit you go in this country that you will not see PDP members. And we must maximize that, we must unite, work together, and of course, the sky will be our limit.
I've also been saying, by making peace and reconciling, it should not mean taking one blow to people and giving to one or a few individuals.
The NEC thereafter ratified all decisions reached at the meetings, which includes a special convention which will prolong the tenure of the caretaker committee to hold the elective convention. The executive committee of the PDP also removed all state caretaker committees set up by the former chairman of the party, Senator Alimadu Sharif, in Jigawa and Benue states. The meeting also resolved for standing disciplinary and reconciliation committees to be constituted by the National Caretaker Committee. In Abuja, Abdullahi Garba Kudu, NTA News.
Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice Abubakar Malami, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, has called on law officers and the various ministries of justice across the country to step up their functions so as to bring about a higher level of confidence in the nation's justice system. He stated this in a message to the opening of the 2nd Annual Conference of the Law Officers of Nigeria. Judiciary correspondent Femi Okewo reports.
When in prosecution, you hear about the case that is Attorney General of a state or of the Federation against any defendant, the law officers of Nigeria are the foot soldiers through which prosecution is enhanced. They are also the ones used to present government cases in civil matters too. And although they too largely depend on investigations by police or other related organizations, their level of proficiency in putting their case before the judges goes a long way in determining the pronouncement of the judges. So, when such a body of lawyers holds its annual conference, those concerned about the nation's justice system help to encourage better performance, which is what the Attorney General of the Federation and the President of the Nigerian Bar Association, Abubakar Mahmood, did at the opening ceremony.
The public service is yearning for law officers that will command respect and enjoy the confidence of the Nigerian people.
And we feel if the justice sector reforms are prioritized, they will go a long way in stabilizing, not only improving the justice sector, but stabilizing the country.
President of the Law Officers Association of Nigeria is happy that the conference is creating the awareness needed both within the membership of the society and the Nigerian society generally.
Everything in Nigeria, whether prosecution, whether in political sphere or religious sphere, has to depends on the Nigerian template. But I can tell you that we are not very badly in terms of prosecution.
In Abuja, Femi Okeowo, NTA News.
Money and music business, as well as alternative sources of financing the creative industry, dominated discussions at the plenary sessions of the ongoing Creative Industry Summit holding in Lagos. Anthony Forson reports.
In line with the theme of the summit, financing the film, television and music industry, discussions were tied around factors inhibiting practitioners from accessing funds.
We can see the old brigade against the new brigade. You can also see that we've also been given the opportunity to look at, how it has been done in other parts of the world, in Hollywood, in Los Angeles, in India, in the UK, and in Nigeria. The whole idea is for us to take the best and from these countries and adapt it to our own particular situation.
Tony Subair, founder of High TV, in his submission recounted how he was frustrated out of business while soliciting for funds. Talking to a cross-section of contributors at the summit, revealed their need for a financing revolution that will remove all forms of bottlenecks that hinder their ability to access funds.
The government is really banking on them. That's why the minister is out
to give them total support, because it's an area which has been proven that is contributing about 1.4% to the total GDP of the economy.
Almost the first time in the administration of this country, the government is giving the role to the stakeholders. Come, inform us. How's the business going? What can we do?
There's big opportunities in new ideas for a vastly growing area, starting from a very small base.
Nothing like this has ever happened with any minister. This is the first time that I'm seeing this, and I think this is a sign that things are going to get better.
A communique is expected to be issued at the end of the two-day summit to serve as a roadmap for repositioning the industry. In Lagos, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
Residents of Dede, a suburb of the Federal Capital Territory, woke up this morning to a flooded town, which reports say claimed 3 lives. FCT Minister Muhammad Musa Bello has visited the area to commiserate with the people. Mitaira Ikben reports.
Eyewitnesses and officials of the FCT Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, said the torrential rainfall in Dede between 8:30 p.m. to 11 p.m. caused an overflow of the bank of River Pa and flooding in the area, leading to the death of 3 persons and destroying several buildings.
We have recovered 3 places. I have said that this place is prone to flood, and what has happened has been indicated also.
FCT Minister Muhammad Musa Bello said the unfortunate incident reinforces the message for people to refrain from building on waterways and avoid indiscriminate dumping of refuse.
All those that are residing on the direct natural water course, there's a need for them to move, and then of course to clean the surrounding areas so that when water comes back, as it will definitely do, it will have a natural way of flowing.
He directed the FCT Emergency Management Agency and the Buhari Area Council Administration to begin urgent sensitization of FCT residents on measures to prevent flood disasters. From Dede, Abuja, Mitaire Ikben, NTA News.
Creative Nigeria Summit fallout. Details of these and other stories with Jennifer Igwe at our Lagos studio. Jennifer, good to see you.
Good to see you too, Kudu. Good evening and welcome to Lagos. Standard Organization of Nigeria, SON, says it will continue to apply the full weight of the law on companies that fail to comply with the registration of their companies with SON. Head Product Registration, Enebi Onochayo, made this known when it sealed Samsung office, one of the electronic companies in Lagos. Ken Igbeluge has details.
Statutory functions of Standard Organization of Nigeria is to create awareness on quality assurance and ensure that all products manufactured in Nigeria or imported into the country are registered in conformity with SON standard. For companies that do not comply with SON standard, the law empowers SON to seal off such companies. It is against this backdrop that the officials of SON seal off an electronic company operating in the country. This is due to the failure of the company to register its products with SON.
The law in Nigeria says that you import anything into Nigeria, for it to have access to our market, it must be registered. Because we need to have the database and be able to attest to the quality of that product and be sure that the consumers in Nigeria will get value for their money. They have refused to fulfill that requirements.
Investigation reveals that the company has been operating in the country for several years without registering its products with SON.
We want our consumers to be able to tell our consumer, this product is good for you, this product is not good for you. It is through this process of product registration which will enable us to ascertain the quality of that product to be sure that our consumers will get value for their money. That is the only thing that will allow them to sell that product in our market.
All efforts to get the company's reactions on the issue proved abortive. In Lagos, Ken Igbeluge, NTA News.
Core issues of major critical constraints like lack of film policy for Nigeria's creative industry, inadequate funding that inhibits full exploitation of enormous wealth, and unactivated streams of income in legislations engaged the attention of stakeholders and policymakers at the first Creative Nigeria Summit in Lagos. Vera Chimuba has details.
Nollywood, Nigeria's homegrown film sector, is among industries that have grown exponentially contributing to gross domestic product. Considering the conservative budgets movie producers have to work with, the Robust Creative Nigeria Summit, the first of its kind in Nigeria, is set to transform the industry by creating a framework for the industry. The industry, which has demonstrated creativity and innovative financing without government support, is now to devise better ways of harnessing the revenue streams that are bound in legislations, while government provides enabling environment.
The reality of it is that the government response is inadequate. There is no film policy.
A private copy levy, which has been in our law for over 20 years, which has not been put into text, that should be activated.
The stakeholders who believe that government has no business in doing business say government should limit its intervention to activating policies for good film production. They also cited bureaucratic bottlenecks in film certification and lack of provision of quality schools for training of technicians.
The position now is this: you move in, proper documentation will be done in less than 30 minutes.
We are trying very soon to unveil what we regard as the National Film Institute mobile training platform.
Others say direct funding may not be the solution, but we provide a measure of support, while investors should be encouraged with tax exemption.
Bringing everybody together to show them or teach them how to get financing for their content, I think it's a very noble act.
The summit will now be an annual event. In Lagos, Viera Chinguba, NTA News.
You're still on to NTA Network News. More reports ahead after this time out. Stay tuned.
Hold on and give the address to the driver. I beg, hold on.
Hello? Madam, can not finish show?
The party goes soon start, so Chrissy, help me go and buy the recharge card. Oh yeah, everybody, let's go, let's go, let's go. Okay. Hello, Madam Celebrant.
With Glow Sharp e-top up, you get 8 times the value of your recharge. Plus, you continue to enjoy all the airtime and data benefits on your plan.
Where the credit now?
Now sharp e-top up. I do enter your phone straight.
Blood of Zachariah. Well, you don't know, say e-top up, no, they give all the plan benefits like bonus airtime and data.
Now, e-top up, they give you all the better plan benefits, plus more.
Christy. Don't worry, I will put smart in on top of your money later.
I be the wonder when that you feel square me the money sharp like e-top up.
Very good. You like money.
The largest data network, Glow, grandmasters of data.
The Administrative Staff College of Nigeria, ASCON, invites officers on grade level 15 and above in both military and paramilitary services in the Federation to its 3-day national workshop titled Security Management in a Democratic Dispensation. Date 24th to 26th July 2017. Venue ASCON Topo Badagry. Fee 70,000 naira per delegate. Payment mode ASCON e-collection account payable at any commercial bank. Account number 02-3005-58-61019. For further inquiries, please contact Barrister Kola Wale Alagbe, Workshop Director, on 080-3330-7408 or Aruna Kapo, Workshop Coordinator, on 080-2393-3466. You can also visit www.ascon.gov.ng. Announcer, Director General.
Cadbury Bournvita now comes in an attractive new 500-gram refill pack. Simply open and reseal after use to retain the chocolatey and creamy taste. Cadbury Bournvita. Prepare to win.
The Administrative Staff College of Nigeria, ASCON, wishes to invite administrative officers, auditors, accountants, investigative officers, budget and planning officers, procurement and stock verification officers on grade level 8 and above to its 4-day workshop on National Sensitization Workshop on Whistleblower Protection Act. Content of the workshop includes overview of the Whistleblowers Act, framework of the whistleblowing in the Nigerian economy, financial management and control measures, anti-corruption laws, audit and public accountability, challenges of Whistleblowers Act and protection and security of the whistleblowers. Date Monday 31st July to Thursday 3rd August 2017. Venue, Ascon Complex Topu Badagry. Fees 75,000 naira per participant, excluding lodging and feeding. Please note, arrival and registration for the workshop will be done on Sunday, 30th July 2017. Account name, Ascon e-collection account, payable at any commercial bank. Account number 0230055861019. For inquiry, contact Workshop Director G.A. Afolayan on 08033182344 or Workshop Coordinator on 08033889153. Announcer, Director General, Ascon.
Reorganized, trained, and fully equipped, we are the new improved Nigeria Police Force. We fight crime, we bust syndicates. Whatever the crime, wherever the hideout, the Nigeria Police Force will get you busted. Stop kidnapping, armed robbery, murder.
Thank you for remaining with NTA Network News. 14 investors make commitment to newly listed 200 billion naira Nigeria Infrastructure Debt Fund. Details with Vivian Idekpefo on Business News.
Thank you for joining us on the Business News at this time. Nigeria has listed the first infrastructure debt fund in sub-Saharan Africa with the first tranche of 5 billion naira out of the proposed 200 billion naira on the FMDQ over the counter of the Nigerian Stock Exchange. Mr. Adekunle Oyinloye, who is a development expert, describes the listing as a milestone for Nigeria's debt and capital market, as it will not only enhance liquidity but also make the market attractive for raising the needed funds to reduce the country's 31 trillion naira infrastructure gap.
By investing in it, you are helping to creating a road asset that will be well maintained. You are also assured of return on your investment, and it's assured, it's not zigzag, because an infrastructure investment is so that you can predict how much you're going to earn, at what point, and when it's going to drop.
49.45 million units of 101 naira 20 kobo each were issued at the launch. Now to trading on the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange, where Tuesday's trading sustained 8 days of bullish activity. The all-share index appreciated by 0.41% to close at 33,436.61 basis points, with market capitalization at 11.52 trillion naira.
We apologize for the poor picture quality in that business package. We now join Maiduguri Network Center for a report on the Australian government's donation to IDPs in Borno State and other stories. Mohammed Ibrahim is standing by. Hello, Mohammed.
Hello, Mohammed. Welcome to Maiduguri. The federal government has assured of quick response to secure University of Maiduguri and make it conducive for teaching and learning. This came to the fore when a high-powered delegation from the Federal Ministry of Education paid an assessment visit to the institution. Amina Fidi Ahmadu completes the report.
Following the spate of suicide attacks on the University of Maiduguri, the management of the institution had appealed to the federal government to provide perimeter fencing in order to secure the university against future attacks. The delegation was on the spot assessment visit as directed by the Minister for Education, Adamu, to have first-hand information and provide possible solutions. Heads of the delegation, Dr. Bello Umar Tambuwal, while inspecting areas affected by terror activities, described the act as crime against humanity.
We as a government will try as much as possible to enhance and codify the security of this university for the good of our citizens.
He said federal government needs to contribute towards protecting lives and property at the institution, and commended the state government as well as the university management for the giant stride taken to secure the university. Vice Chancellor of the institution, Professor Ibrahim Abubakar Jode, said the university and state government did not rest on their arms in ensuring that they protect the students and staff, as well as appeal to government to build perimeter fencing. Earlier, the team had a meeting with the Joint Council and management at the Senate chambers, where the Vice Chancellor, Professor Ibrahim Abubakar Jodi, presented copies of report for onward presentation to the minister. In Maiduguri, Amina Fidi Amadou, NTA News.
Borno State Governor Kashim Shettima has re-echoed the appeal on international donor partners to scale up humanitarian support to victims of insurgency in the northeast. He was speaking while receiving donation of foodstuff to internally displaced persons from Australian High Commissioner to Nigeria, Paul Lehman. Mohamed Goni reports.
Governor Kashim Shettima expressed gratitude to the Australian government for its continued support to the victims of crisis in Nigeria over the years, saying the intervention in kind will go a long way in addressing food security challenges in the northeast.
We take care of over 124,000 Nigerians for a period of 1 month. We have saved lives, and political truth will ask for more.
Australian High Commissioner Paul Lehman said the World Food Programme is an outstanding humanitarian partner that has been active across the globe, and expressed confidence of his government in the World Food Programme to utilize the assistance to make a difference in the lives of the people of the state and the region.
This is an example of where Australia and Nigeria work together to bring benefit to the people who are affected by the conflict in this region.
World Food Programme Country Director Mr. Ronald Sibanda said the Australian government released $2.2 million for humanitarian support, which has enabled the World Food Programme to acquire 1,500 metric tons of assorted food items. In Maiduguri, Mohamed Goni, NTA News.
That's our contribution from Maiduguri. Muhammad is back to you in Abuja.
Thank you, Mohammed. Stay tuned for foreign news, sports and more as we take a final break.
The National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, is working to ensure access to safe, good quality essential medicines with the World Health Organization pre-qualification of made in Nigeria pharmaceutical products, stiffer penalties for fake drug offenders with a review of NAFDAC laws, national, regional, and international collaborations, cutting-edge technologies, including the mobile authentication service.
NAFDAC as an agency is indeed doing so much to protect the health of our nation. I urge everyone to support NAFDAC in ridding the country of fake drugs and unwholesome products.
Let us support NAFDAC to win the war against fake drugs and other unwholesome regulated products. NAFDAC, safeguarding the health of the nation.
For highlights of stories trending on the foreign scene, let's join Justin Ben Unye.
Hello and welcome to the Foreign News segment. South Sudan's President Salva Kiir declared a state of emergency in some parts of the country's northwest states for 3 months. The president, under the country's transitional constitution, has powers to declare a state of emergency in consultation with the National Legislative Assembly. It remains unclear what necessitated the president's impromptu decision, which could partly be linked to insecurity in those areas. And from Ethiopia, there are reports that military police have been deployed to parts of Ethiopia's Oromia state following protests over a new business tax that has been introduced recently. The reports say that last week residents in one city, Ambo, damaged 2 state-owned vehicles, and this week businesses in other cities have shut in protest. The new tax has been levied on small businesses with an annual turnover of up to $4,300 in an effort to boost the tax base and raise much-needed government revenue. Meanwhile, U.S. President Donald Trump has suffered another big setback over one of his key campaign pledges, which was to repeal Obamacare and overhaul the country's health insurance system. 4 Republican senators say they oppose the new replacement bill, making it impossible to pass in its current form. Opposition Democrats had already pledged to fight the changes. And that's all on Foreign News. Thank you for being there.
Kenema Wadike is here with the sports update.
Nigeria-based Super Eagles scheduled to resume camp over the weekend to commence preparation for the